Hey guys, welcome back to the Investor Army YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be on how to make sure you get the appraisal number that you're trying to hit. So let me ask you something, right? Have you ever had a house that you were selling or financing out of, and you got a house appraisal that was quite a bit lower than what you really wanted, right? So if you're doing any number of houses or any number of volume in your business, you're going to run into this from time to time, and it's not fun, right? Because if you wanted a $150,000 appraisal and you had the house for sale at $150,000, and it comes back at $125,000, what does that mean? That means the bank's only going to lend on $125,000, you're going to lose $25,000 unless that buyer's willing to pull that money out of their pocket. But why would they if the house is only worth $125,000, which is what the appraiser just told them, right? So that's not likely to happen. So if you want to see how the appraisal process works, go check out one of our other YouTube videos on the process, and it'll kind of explain that a little bit more in detail. So where are we, right? We're at a house I'm selling, and I have it under contract. We've already had the inspection. We've already kind of gotten through that phase of the sales process, and we're getting ready to have the appraisal here in 2 days. But I'm not going to be here because, guys, I travel all around the country quite a bit. So I'm not going to be here for this, right? So what do? How do I influence this appraisal if I'm not going to be here? That's what I'm going to show you today. But quickly, let's kind of touch for y'all who are new to the channel and are new to the business. I see commonly a lot of y'all don't know the difference between inspection and appraisal, and you think that they're the same thing or they're all done at the same time, but really they're different things. Now, in simple terms, inspection is about the functionality of the house, right? So you're looking at the plumbing, the foundation, the roof, the HVAC, and all the functions in the house to make sure everything's working well, safely, and you have a good house to turn over to that new buyer, right? They're not in jeopardy of having anything bad happen, like the house burned down or the house floods. Now, the appraisal, as compared to the functionality, is the evaluation of the property. How much is it worth, right? So they're going to go through and look at the finish out that you put into that. So did you just blanket the house with carpet and the cheap thing? Or did you put nice hand-scraped hardwood floors in the house, right? Do you have formica countertops, or did you put nice granite in it? It's all going to affect the valuation. Now this is very important, because if you get it undervalued, you may not make as much money as you thought you would, because it doesn't matter how much you sell the house for. If that homeowner wants to pay $300,000 for a house that's appraised at $100,000, unless they have that money to pay cash on their own, you're not getting the house sold. Because it only matters what the bank sees the appraisal, because that's what they're going to lend on, because that's what the appraiser says it's worth. So if they want to buy it versus what the bank's willing to lend on it, you see there's a problem, right? So you can only sell a house for what the bank's willing to lend on. So it doesn't really matter how much someone's willing to pay, because they're not buying with their money, they're buying with the bank's money. So getting an appraisal is very important. So what do I do when I'm not here? So normally when I am here, I always want to be at my appraisals, because I want to influence the situation, right? It's like going to court. If you're not there and showing up, or not showing up to court and having them, make their argument without you being there to kind of, say, hey, well, here's what I think too, right? So I'm going to go and talk to them. You never want to be combative, right? I see a lot of people shoot themselves in the foot because they argue with the appraiser. What do you think they're going to do? What if that appraiser is going to say, well, I was going to say it's $200,000, but now because I don't like you, I think it's only worth $190,000. And that can happen. So don't ever argue with them. Just kind of go in and talk to them like they're a normal human being and say, hey, look, I do a lot of these houses, and here's the reason why I thought that this one was worth this. And a lot of times they're going to be cool and they're going to be agree with you. They're not trying to destroy the real estate transaction. They want it to go through. They don't want to upset a family that wants to buy the house, and they don't want to upset you. They just want to do their job, but they also can't put themselves in jeopardy, because a lot of that was happening back before the last crash. And we'll have another video talking about that. So what do you do if they're not there? Well, first of all, let's talk about this real quick. The inspectors and appraisals are the only one in an entire real estate transaction, right, that get paid regardless of the outcome. So if the deal goes through or the deal doesn't go through, they still get paid, right? Everybody else is really invested into this deal going through, especially the buyer, right? They want the house for them and their family, especially you as an investor. You want it sold, you want to make a profit. The bank doesn't get paid, they don't get a loan out, they got their, the mortgage broker doesn't get paid, the real estate agent doesn't get paid, so everybody else in the process wants the deal to go through. The inspector and the appraiser get paid either way. In fact, inspectors sometimes do everything they can, you think, to destroy a deal, right? Because they're protecting themselves and their license. Because what if they don't spot something and it comes back later and there's a big problem with it? They're in jeopardy of being on their license. So there's a saying that inspectors can't sleep well at night if they don't destroy a real estate transaction that day, and I can guarantee you that they destroy a lot of them, and they could care less, really, to be honest. Most of them, I've seen some bad ones, guys, but you just got to make sure you don't cut corners because you're going to have to pass an inspection anyway. So that's why you just do it right the first time and don't cut corners, because you're still going to get hit by it later. So in this particular case, I have this house under contract for sale for $140,000. And the appraisal's coming Monday, but I'm not going to be here. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, right? The house probably is pushing getting appraised at normally like 130, low 130s. Now there is one house, one outlier that could say, hey, you know, this could sell for this, but they've made it really nice. But this one was also done really nice. Now we may make a video walking around this property, I'm not sure yet, but we want to make sure we get the full appraisal. Now there's a couple houses that sold for a little bit lower that were clean but not rehabbed, but we're getting like 115, 120, which is what we're going to use to make our argument. So I want to use this one outlier that was a rehab house and these other ones and point out the differences in it and why I think mine's going to be appraised and should be appraised at the full 140. Now first of all, why would I sell a house for above what market value is if I just told you that if it doesn't get appraised, I'm not going to get that money? So say it only gets appraised at 125 and I have it sold at 140 and they don't want to pay that $15,000, I'm going to lose 15 grand. But what if it gets appraised at 135 when normally normal investors would put up there at 125 and it gets appraised at 135? I just made $10,000 more than you did, right? So why not put it up a little bit higher and see? The worst thing that happens is you drop the price down, right? So we don't want to leave equity on the table. And here's how you know that houses from time to time are going to get appraised above market value. Well, right now we're in double-digit appreciation in Dallas, right? What does that mean? Well, the market's going up. Well, how does the market go up? Well, it means that people like me and my company and other companies like mine are pricing properties that are nice above market value. So say everything's selling at $150,000. Well, we're going to put it at $165,000 because we're going to try to get a higher appraisal. And if we do, the market goes up. Markets would never go up if people weren't trying to get more than what they were asking, or than what they technically the comps should show they should be asking, right? So here's a little tip. Life usually pays the price for it that you ask it. So if you're renting a house, say for $800, and everybody else is renting it for $800, why didn't you ask for $950, right? You may have lost some money and left some money on the table. So go ahead and ask for a little bit more, and then deal with it later if you can't get the appraisal that you wanted. So here's what I do, guys. All that got us to here. You ready? This is a CMA. This is a comparative market analysis. What is this? This is the 4 houses that I want him to look at as the appraiser. I want to say, hey, look over here, right? Don't look over here. Look at these ones that I want you to see. Don't pay attention to these over here that I don't want you to see. So this is a CMA. It's basically got a breakdown of all the pictures of the property, I don't know if you can see there or not, and all the descriptions and what the materials were put inside each one. And so what I'm going to basically say is that this house is sold for $135. Why mine can sell for more than it is because, yeah, it was nice and had it updated, had granite in the kitchen. Well, mine had granite in the bathrooms, and it had new vanities. That one just put granite on the old vanities, right? And there's a couple other little things that I can point out, right? Plus, we got a hot tub in the back. And now it's a used hot tub. Really shouldn't probably add much value, but you know, it's something, use anything you can to point it out. So what am I going to do since I can't be here? I'm going to take this and I'm going to spread it out across the kitchen counter, so he cannot miss it, so he can see what I want. And through here I have underlined and marked and little notes pointing out, and I have calculations showing this property compared to this one shows that mine's worth 142, this property compared to this one shows mine's worth 139, and averaged together, I can prove that I think I can prove 140. Now, this is very important. This is a letter that I wrote. Now, this letter basically shows the same properties in there, but I have a little paragraph written out about them and why I think this one's going to appraise and that they don't need to be worried. And who's it written to? Well, if you think the appraiser, you're wrong. I have it written to the real estate agent. Now, she may see this or he may see this, but it's not really written for them. It's written to be left to them, but for the appraiser to find, right? So I go through and I say, you know, I'm thankful and grateful that I'm able to work with you. I'm glad that we came together on a price. I'm glad the inspection went okay. And I'm so happy that I was able to provide a nice house for your clients. And I know how much they wanted it and how they've been looking for so long and how they would just be devastated, right? If their kids didn't get to go to school right over there that they've been looking for. And I know this is the only house on the market over here that they could actually get in time for school to start, and that I know how devastated they'd be if they couldn't get this house, and blah, blah, blah. I'm really sinking in the emotion, right? So that appraiser's going to come in and look at it, and he's going to start thinking, oh man, here's the contract for 140. I really think I'm pushing it at 132, 130, 133, low 130s. But if I don't just give it a 140, what happens if that family doesn't have that extra $7,000 to come out of pocket? And I ripped this house that this family was really, really wanting right out from underneath them. I'd be a bad, bad person if I did that, right? So we're playing on emotion to get what we want. Now, in a hot appreciating market, they're going to rationalize this. If your market's diving, they're not going to do that. But right now it's going up so much, and we did a nice enough job on this house that I know he's going to think that, with what I'm pointing out, that he's going to see it my way. How often does this work? Well, guys, I can't tell you an instance that it didn't work. Put it that way. I get the appraisal that I want every single time. Maybe in the last 20 or 30 houses we've sold for 10, 15 grand above what technically it should have appraised for. So think about that, guys. If you did 20 rehabs last year and you could have got $10,000 more on each one, how much money did you leave on the table? But since I'm not going to be there to express my opinion, I want to write it like this because I don't want it to look like, hey, here's a letter to you. I'm telling you what it is. If you don't see it my way, so it's less confrontational this way. And he just thinks that he stumbled across information I was sending to the realtor saying, here's our justification of why we price the property this way. It's no problem. My company does 100, tons of these. And, here's the MLS numbers to prove our point. And I don't think there's going to be any problem. And I'm thankful and grateful we get to work with you. And I know that family's going to love the house. We did a lot of good work on it for them. We did this and this and this and pointing out the things that we did that other houses don't have. So guys, I hope that's kind of making sense to you. We'll leave all this out there so there's no way that appraiser cannot see it. And he's going to go through it, he's going to look at it, and nobody's going to be standing over his shoulder. He's going to be looking at his own time. And if he was going to make it 130, 135 appraisal, it's a good chance that he's going to go ahead and say, okay, we're just going to make it 140, right? Because he knows what the banks, he knows the contract, he's seen it. And so I hope that helps on how to kind of make sure you have a better chance at pushing the appraisal towards the direction you want it to go. And we're going to film more videos on how we do things like this on our rehabs and take you out some more of our properties over the next few years. So guys, if you think this is a good tip, and if you think sometime in the future it's going to help you get a little bit higher appraisal, go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and share it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, guys. Go ahead and join this community because we're going to be putting out a ton of stuff. As you know, we're giving out a ton of gifts and a ton of prizes and a ton of packages and consulting for all y'all, trying to help y'all grow your business. I'm glad to see you here today, and I hope I shared with you something that's going to help you in your business, and I hope on the next video I can do the same. Have a good day. I'll see you then.